There's a lot going on in the world right now, and last night we had Dr. Don Frazier on to talk about everything going on in Ukraine, and we got so much positive feedback. We asked Dr. Frazier to join us again tonight. Dr. Frazier, thanks again for your time.
Glad to be here. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely. I want to start again where we left off yesterday in Ukraine. You heard the last guest really encouraging people to think about cyber security. What's been the development? Because this is an ongoing developing story. Are we pretty much at the same place? Are we having conversations right now between Russia and Ukraine?
Well, Russia has always seen some sort of cyber warfare as part and parcel of how they would wage war. Very asymmetrical. The talks with Ukraine are actually for show. I don't think Putin's going to stop until he either wins or somebody stops him the hard way. This guy is pretty doggone determined. I'm not sure what his end game is other than pretty much what he stated. Ukraine shouldn't exist and we're going to gobble it up. So
right.
Short of some sort of shooting war between NATO and Russia, we're going to be playing this out at our ATM machines, at our at our water providers, at our electrical grid. I mean, this thing is going to get gnarly.
And the gas pump too, right? Gas prices are already.
Oh, gas pump's already going nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, what was oil today? $106.
Yeah,
I think that was the price for West Texas
right.
Intermediate crude.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
this is we're all at war. And one Victor Davis Hanson said that we're actually already in the middle of World War III. We just don't realize.
Wow. That's very, very sobering. Let's talk about
take the joy out of the room.
Yeah, no, but it's true. I think there's a lot that's going on from an historical standpoint, because I know that what do you say? History doesn't repeat itself, but it
certainly rhymes.
It certainly rhymes. I knew that. I was thinking about what you said, but we are seeing kind of this. But it's different because technology is different than it was, 77 years ago for sure. Here's my question for you: When the USSR fell apart, and you had this rise of the Russian oligarchs who got in there and got very, very wealthy. Help me understand, because I think they enjoy Western civilization. They own properties all over the West, and their money's getting cut out, and they're the ones that are sort of suffering financially. What's the tipping point for all of these oligarchs that control Russian money to look at Putin and decide maybe this is not who we want to be our president? Is that something that's even possible?
My prediction is that these guys have all enjoyed their privileged status with Putin, but now all of a sudden it's costing them. It's costing them in their favorite place, which is their wallet. So my prediction is that these guys will end up leaving Russia before they try to overthrow Putin. These guys don't strike me as being particularly courageous. I mean, we're seeing daily examples of people that are courageous. These guys are not courageous. These guys are opportunists. And so they'll do things like move their operation to a non-embargoed country like Armenia, or they'll go someplace that's kind of a little under the radar where they can rebuild their fortunes. They're already moving all their assets to places that will be protected. So I think that while we're getting a lot of very nice enjoyment over their squirming, I'm not sure that this is going to be the pathway to some sort of coup or overthrow of the current Russian political power. I think that probably the way that Russian governments get overthrown is how they've been overthrown in the past, and that's usually with a military mutiny. I'm already seeing things where whole Russian units are throwing down their weapons and saying, look, this is what we signed on for. We were told this was an exercise that we'd be welcomed as liberators. Well, for liberators, they sure are, killing us with great abandon. I mean, the casualty rate is World War II level casualty rates right now.
That's crazy.
The worst day we had in Vietnam, we lost 173 kids in one day. And the Russians are losing about, 1,100 kids a day.
That is amazing perspective to think
Yeah,
about, and this is why I love having you on the show, because it gives you that historical perspective. I did see Fox News reporting one Russian soldier reaching out to his mom, a phone call talking about how exactly the way you described it. We were told that we were going in, that they would welcome us, and he was killed shortly and his cell phone confiscated. And Fox News left it right there. They didn't say, who killed him on what side, but it's very interesting to see everything that's going on over there. So do you think there is an opportunity? Do you foresee, and again, we understand you study history, so I'm kind of asking you to it's really unfair to look at the future, but do you see a window of opportunity where there might be some infighting? Because, people protesting in Russia, God bless them. You get arrested, that's on your record for the rest of your life, and people are still going out in the streets and protesting this war. Could there be a military overthrow of Putin, or are we just sort of having a wild dream to even think about it?
Well, if history is any guide, that's usually how it goes down. You have the battleship Potemkin moment. You have the mutiny on the Western Front against the Germans in the First World War, and these guys just say, we're not pointing our guns west anymore. We're going to point them back towards Moscow. I would say that that's as likely a scenario as the oligarchs refusing and essentially taking him out. Probably even a better one. I just have no faith in Russian oligarchs. But we're still a long way from that. And Putin will keep grinding up his own people to get what he wants. It'll be interesting to see. He put his nuclear forces on alert, and U.S. intelligence sources are all saying, we've seen no change in status. We don't see any more trucks coming to the gate. We don't see them fueling up any rocket boosters. So I suspect that some of this this pushback by the Russian people may come in the form of an old Spanish phrase that I like to use, obedezco pero no cumplo. That's what the Spanish used to do in the colonial period, and it just means I obey, but I do not comply. And that's how you deal with.
Wait a minute. I think that's what my kids say to me all the time too.
Exactly. Absolutely, I clean my room. Well, why is your room not cleaned up? Well, because I cleaned my room. Okay. Well, that doesn't make.
You meant to clean the room now. I thought you just meant whenever I get around to it.
Yeah. So I think that there's going to be a little bit of that I obey, but I don't comply going on.
I'm up against a break, but do you have time to stick around for one more segment?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, we'll be back with more with Dr. Frazier. You're watching Create, Build, and Manage.